don't see it.
No, it's okay.
You know. Behave.
We had these. Yeah, almost. Yeah, they much better than that.
Okay, all right, everybody. Call the meeting to order. The November 18th, 2025 meeting of the Patent Free Library Board of Trustees. Call to order. The first order of business is the Secretary's report, the minutes of the October 14th meeting. Are there any comments, adjustments, questions, anything that should be brought to discussion? Peggy.
On page 3 of the monthly report about Leslie and so forth have been working on, I think that's a marketing and communications plan, right? Not a marketing communication. Isn't it marketing and communications plan?
We're looking at the minutes. Are you looking at the minutes?
Oh, did you say minutes?
Yeah,
Minutes.
the minutes.
The first line of the
Of page 3, of the monthly
marketing
report.
communication.
Of
Oh, I
minutes?
think it's, yeah, it's right here.
It's in the minutes.
But that, the monthly report in the minutes is what you're talking about?
What are you're looking at the October 14th minutes, Peggy?
Yeah.
Isn't that what you?
Yeah,
am I-
page 3, it says monthly report.
Right here.
Oh, monthly report in the minutes.
In the minutes.
On page.
Page 3, page 3, the first sentence, I was just trying to get Samantha's plan, marketing, correct, that's all.
Marketing and communication.
And communication.
Marketing and communications plan, right?
It was the
Yes.
minutes. The
You're
minutes
not
from
going
to-
time, it just says marketing communication.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
Okay, yeah, marketing communication plan, okay. All right. Anything else?
Oh, yes. Under policy, on page 4, policy and personnel,
Mhm.
I had asked about the art committee because it had the note, the committee report had said the art committee is not directed by the trustees. And I actually had asked a question about that. And so
They're trying to do that.
so I didn't know why, I didn't know what that meant. And so we might want to add after that sentence that something like this is because the committee was initiated by staff. That's what I was told when I asked that question. So we might want to have that, note that in the minutes.
Is that other recommend, is that everyone else's recollection as well?
Thing.
I think that now that Peggy says that, I think it's what I recall more of my. Okay, so, right. Okay. Any other changes, corrections, comments? If not, is there a motion to accept the minutes as amended?
Second.
Okay, all in favor? Minutes are passed as amended. Adjustments to the agenda, there are a couple. One is that we will, under new business, old business, we'll be looking at the revised language for the proposed bylaw amendments on the 2 issues that raised concerns at the annual corporator meeting, i.e. the funding model, and also expanding the representation of the served communities. There's the executive committee, along with the governance committee, met and has proposed some draft language which is sent around. So that will be added to the agenda. It's not listed. And then when we come to the treasurer's report, there will be a resolution regarding repayment of the capital campaign loan that Anthony will walk us through. First of all, I wanted to say welcome to John Zittel to joining the board. You may know John's been doing great work on the Building and Technology Committee. We look forward to having his commitment and diligence here in his renewed additional role as a trustee. So welcome, John. Thank you. You may have seen this on the capital campaign committee report, but just to make sure everyone knows that I decided I'm going to step down as chair effective the end of this year. I will remain on the committee. So now it's especially important to search for a new chair in addition to adding other members to the committee. So I really encourage you to provide your suggestions for who would be a good leader for the capital campaign. The campaign will be moving on to a more public phase, not too distant future. So ideally, it should be someone who's well connected in the community, has a fairly high profile, and can be a good public spokesperson for the capital campaign. Any suggestions you have, you can provide to Rebecca, Leslie, Samantha, or me as we adjust and go forward. Also, additional committee members are always welcome as well. Doesn't have to be someone from the corporators, someone perhaps from the general public as well. Even with Leslie's very good description and the details in the monthly report, I wanted to acknowledge and commend the staff's extraordinary work in October. When I saw the numbers about programming and other activities, at first I thought they were typos because they were so huge. So I just want to say, kudos, extra kudos to a group that always deserves kudos.
Yes.
And I hope that we all keep these examples in mind, or accomplishments in mind, if we give examples of what the library is doing for the community. October was an exceptional month. We do a lot for the served municipalities every month, but this was an exceptional one, so it's a particularly good one to highlight. So just suggest that. And finally, I just want to make sure we were well aware we have one extra person here at the meeting tonight. Could you introduce yourself, just in case we don't know?
Jim McGowan, I live in Bath, formerly at Georgetown.
Mm-hmm.
So just came to following the minutes and other activities and.
Okay.
Great. Hi.
Okay, welcome.
Welcome.
So
Yes.
let's move on to the librarian's report.
Okay, I'm gonna share my screen so I can, just in case I know you've all seen. What's that?
Sharing.
I'm sharing now.
No, you do your Zoom to share, so you can stop sharing for a second.
Wait, this, I have to
You
stop
clicked the
sharing?
wrong window.
Oh, I'm sorry. Right, okay.
Hit share again, and then,
I clicked the wrong.
yeah,
window.
well, you didn't click on the thing, but you hovered it, the plan, yeah, you gotta click it and highlight it, yeah.
Okay.
There.
Can you all see? All
Yeah.
right. Okay, but before I do this, I have really exciting news that when I just opened the mail today. So this won't always be, but this is the first time I could not believe my eyes. We had an electric bill where not only did not we owe anything, but we had a credit of $25. I'm looking at John, it's a big old smile. I can't wait to share with the BT committee. So this won't always be, and the reason I think I haven't had a chance to fully absorb it, but because the solar farm, it takes like 8 to 10 weeks for that to show up, and we've started already, we're getting credit for the solar farm. I think that credit, because the solar on the roof, there's no way that would generate enough energy to power the whole building. So I think it's a couple of months of the solar farm plus the solar on the roof, but I think it will even itself out. But to see when I saw zero owed, Elizabeth was in the room. I could not believe it. So I'm going to share that exciting news that we have $25 credit on the bill. So anyway, I will share that again tomorrow morning. That we have building and tech committee, but I wanted to share that with you all. So there's the proof that the solar is doing what it's supposed to be doing. So I will share, again, once we get like a full year's worth of data, it'll be really great to kind of see how that plays out over the year. But was fantastic to see. So no electric bill this month. So, all right. So moving on. So I've been working on with Samantha and Hannah, who I'd asked to join. She is online too. I guess I needed her to answer any questions, but we've created a marketing and communications plan. So I want to first say I made an error in the agenda. It's not a policy, but it's a plan. So it's really a roadmap. It's an internal document that we use, but it's not a policy. So that is my error. So that should say plan in the agenda. To start back in the 22-26 strategic plan under goal number 1, which is outreach, and I'll remind you of what that goal specifically is. It's to create broader and deeper relationships throughout our library communities. Under objective number 3, which is to develop and enhance communication channels with towns, current patrons, and new audiences and partners. And then under objective 3, we have an action to create a library communications and municipal relations plan. And in this case, they're actually 2 separate, should say plans. So they're 2 separate plans. So we actually created a communications and marketing plan, and we actually have a municipal relations plan, which Samantha created, which our department heads have weighed in on, and we've made some adjustments there, and I'm going to be sharing with the board next month. I did want to kind of break them up because it's a lot of information to cover. So Samantha and Hannah and I worked on this plan, which I shared with you all on October 16th, except I don't think John would have seen it that early because you were not a trustee at that time. So you would not have seen it until more recently. But I had asked for some feedback at the time and I didn't receive any, but it's still not too late in the future if you want to email me some feedback. So again, this is our first year that we've had this. So what this is, it's really a roadmap. It's an internal document that we're using. Let me get my notes here. It's up the pages of them. So what this plan does is it's a document that outlines how the library will communicate with our audiences to build awareness, engagement, and support. And it's really a roadmap for telling our story. It's a way to tell it clearly, consistently, and effectively. And it contains, as you'll see, a bunch of different categories. We have our objective, we have our strategy, we have our key message, the core idea, what we want people to understand about the organization or the message we're trying to get across, the channel, or as far as how we're going to communicate that message, the audience, who is the recipient of the message, how we're going to define success, so the measures, and then it's kind of cut off here, but the coordinator, so who's going to coordinate or who's going to execute these various objectives, and then the advocate, so who's going to be involved in some level with these various objectives. So, and the reason that we have this plan, so one thing it'll do is it gives consistent messaging across departments. It'll give us clear communication with patrons, donors, stakeholders, community members. It gives us stronger outreach and visibility. And then it's also better alignment between all of us that communicate with our patrons, donors, et cetera. So it helps staff to work together to achieve all of these objectives. So it was a really great process working with Samantha and Hannah on this, and I really appreciated all of their input. They were great to work with, and I know Hannah's is on Zoom, so if we have any questions or if she wants to chime in later on. So what we started to do, we looked for examples of these marketing communications plans, so we didn't have to reinvent the wheel as far as what they look like, and they all are like this. It's like a grid, and so we identified the top objectives. And again, a lot of these things are things we're already doing, so we didn't necessarily start from scratch here. So I'm going to go through the objectives first, and then maybe I'll go across a row on a couple of these to highlight. So the first one is something we talk about every single year, especially Samantha and I. The importance of informing the community to raise awareness of our nonprofit status and funding needs. So we talk about this every year, how a lot of our community members do not realize that we are not a municipal library, that we're a 501c3, and that we do need donations to run the library. So we're trying to figure out ways to get this message across so that we can increase donations. And we also asked in our survey, if any of you took our survey last summer, asked specifically if people were aware that we were a nonprofit library. And I don't remember what the actual results were.
Most of the people did not.
Did not,
Who answered
right.
it did not.
They did not
Or
know,
were
right.
confused about how, like, they thought a lot of their tax money was going to us and not the $17 per capita that was, so they were just confused about it more than anything.
So we know we want to do a better job of communicating that. So that's one of our objectives. Another one is to expand our municipal outreach to strengthen our relationships and enhance community inclusion and awareness. So as we've talked about too, we are one building with 5 communities, 4 of them not located, in the town where the building is located. So that's a very important objective for us. And then the third one, increasing the annual fund by $5,000 plus to achieve the fundraising goal. Just about every year we do increase our annual fund goal, and Samantha works very hard and always knocks it out of the park, but it takes a lot of planning on her part. So we want to acknowledge that this is a strategy and something that we do every year. One of the things to note about this marketing and communications plan is, again, this is the roadmap, but even within this, Samantha has her own level plan for how she's going to achieve this. She's got her own built-in calendar for her appeals and all of that. So this is kind of just the top level. And then the next one, so expand merchandise sales to generate additional revenue and enhance library visibility. So this is the first year we actually have a expense and revenue line for merchandise. So, and we have some really great merch. I actually encourage you all to buy some if you haven't. We just got some these fabulous hats. I love these hats. But what it does is it promotes our visibility outside the library. Where was it? There was something in Bath where, I don't remember what it was, but somebody approached me and said they'd seen a bunch of people wearing our library. Oh, it was Citizens Involvement Day. And I was out walking around and I was wearing my shirt. And they said, wow, I've just seen 3 people with your library shirts. So it really gets the message. And we're branding, we're getting our message, we're creating broader visibility. So that's one of our areas.
You can buy those at the Circ Desk.
Circ
Anytime.
Desk, yeah.
When we're working on an online store.
An online store where now the library
working on
store has them in the window. So we're trying to work on that, to expand the visibility of our merchandise, which also then boosts, revenue. And of course, the defining success in all of these, they all have measurable outcomes. Of course, will increase sales in this case. And then Hannah, and the one that she does every year, which is to promote library programs and services to boost attendance and increase public awareness. Hannah even has her own grid, which is it's a communications plan, and the whole grid is specifically different types of programs and the channels for each different type of program, whether it's a children's program or a teen program. And she has a whole grid for who she reaches out to, how she reaches out for each different type of program. So again, this is just the top level. And then she's got her whole spreadsheet. And it's pages and pages. So it's quite comprehensive on what she does. And then expand community presence through targeted outreach initiatives. And the key word here is outreach. So we have done a lot this year to really improve our outreach. So one of the great things we did was create, I think I mentioned this before, this wonderful calendar in our LibCal software where we can put in our own outreach efforts and see what we do each year so that we can kind of look month by month and see, oh, in October, Georgetown has the Fun Frolic or whatever, you know, and so we know from year to year what things to be on the lookout for the next year. We can also track and say, you know, last year we attended 3 events in this town, or we, you know, all these various things for reports, for town reports. Every year I do a report for each town that goes into their annual report, and I can include some of these activities that we've participated in. So outreach is the other big piece of this. So, and then you can see across the row, the message, the strategy, the audience, and how we define success. So in the executive summary that I included, which basically just highlights the various activities, the biggest thing we looked at was how are we evaluating and the reporting to the board. So what we thought we would do is the end of the fiscal year, we would do a written report of how we thought this year went. And then we would share it with the board. Now we realize it'll be after the boards had their June meeting. So, but we want to get through the fiscal year. And so the other thing I'm sort of interested in is how, because this is our first year, how you're interested in being involved going forward with this process for the next year. So that's, I'm just curious about that. Is that something in the fall you want to give input, or after we send out this report, or you just want to say, consider this for the next year, as a strategy, or, we could have a work session or whatever you want. So I would be very interested in some feedback on that as well for the following year. Are there any questions?
A couple things. Small thing, the branded merchandise line, is that with that you mean what we're offering currently, or are we considering expanding that to more types of things?
Expanding.
Okay.
Hannah and I have been growing it over we
Yes.
started off with one thing, and then we've got hats, and I designed an entire store the other day when I worked from home. So we just have a few steps to connect it so we can get money. But yeah, I think it is.
Okay.
Yeah, that's our idea.
Okay. And then I see in the bottom, the community, the last objective, glad to see that there are local businesses included, because I know that's been a difficult target group to make headway with. So I think as far as I'm concerned, I would be interested, the next step is one step is to do implementation of these things, and, ideas about how we go out and how can we be, let's say, more effective with local businesses.
But I just did those 2 meetings, which I think I put in my report,
Yeah.
which is that basically it was from my plan that we plugged into there, but I met with Bass Savings, and now you're cooking face to face, and it was great.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I think that makes a huge difference.
Bass Savings increased their donation substantially this year at that face-to-face meeting. So
Okay.
yes, yeah.
Okay. Well, more like that.
Yeah, more like that.
And if it means also, I think, bringing in trustees or corporators who are relevant to the particular
Yeah,
businesses, that's where
absolutely.
we can help that. So, okay.
So in terms of implementation of this, is this going to be done kind of using this? Is this sort of channeling the energies of the staff that already do these types of things, or is it going to be like adding more hours of effort on the part of whatever staff members
It's pretty much just, we're already doing this, so it's not, yeah, that's why I work with Samantha and Hannah, because we're pretty much, it's already being implemented. So, that's what, because we're kind of mid fiscal year, but we're already,
Like all the development plan stuff that
right.
is all built into this. And yeah, the only thing I'd say outreach, we've made an effort to increase outreach. That's something that came about, I think, more recently.
We're right.
Yeah.
But even before this plan was finalized, that's something we've been, right.
Yeah.
Yes, so it's not involving, so what's great about this plan too, we're involving more staff in outreach, which we've done anyway, and now we're just kind of looping everybody in. It kind of focuses everybody on. Right, so we're all sort of channeling our efforts in, because there's so many different ways we could, so we have to kind of limit it to,
And this gives us an opportunity for measurable outcomes.
Right.
Y'all
right.
know I love
we
a
can
good
we can
plan.
track. That's, we can track this.
I think it's really helpful that you have explicitly defined the expectations and everything like that. I think that's very helpful.
Mhm.
And because, as you say, it goes to everybody will understand where you're going, and it'll be a concerted effort.
Good, and then we'll have a nice report that can say what we did and.
Peggy, you want something?
I didn't quite hear what you had said before. Did you say other staff will be involved as well, or is it just?
Well, if you look at the advocates, so you can see the coordinators, but if you call it advocates, so those are people, so
Yeah,
you'll
so-
see PFL staff. So there are, some of them have other staff. Actually, I think all categories have other staff.
Yeah.
So there are other staff involved.
Will become part of,
Right.
that will become part of their.
It already is. So some of this,
That's what I
it
wondered.
already is. It's just kind of memorializing it,
Okay.
acknowledging it,
Yeah.
that they do this work.
Right.
Any other questions?
And
Anna, do you have anything you
Yeah, I
want
was
to?
gonna ask about Hannah, had any comments?
No, I think Leslie covered it all. Just one of the main reasons I was here was in case you all had any questions about the other spreadsheet that Leslie mentioned that
Yeah.
I keep about all of the promotions for library programs and services that I do. This is like what I do as far as promotions, and then the other spreadsheet that she mentioned is basically how I do it and who I send it to. And there's a lot of places, which it's not really covered in this spreadsheet, but well, it is vaguely like e-news and social media and flyers. But the other one, and if any of you want to see it, I can of course share it with you. The other one is more of a breakdown, like a big program like Starry Night gets these services, and a program like Storytime that happens every week gets these, shared in this way. Like, we're not sending a press release out for every single story time, but we're sending it out for big events like Starry Night and the visioning session. So it's just another spreadsheet, sort of like this one, with different categories for different things.
Very detail. It's wonderful. Thank you.
It's good. It's a good way to structure it too, for us to keep in mind what you all are doing. That's the other thing. Guidepost. Something more, Leslie? Comments
See if I have anything else. Nothing about this. I don't think I have any parking lot updates, EMC updates, but yeah, you can see for yourself what's going on. But I can tell you, it's still, it's kind of a mess right now, but it's fantastic work. I mean, the partnership with the city is amazing. And the construction company, they're doing an amazing job. So it's worth every bit of hassle.
Much as it actually made the people coming in less hampered people from coming in.
I would say our
Yeah.
it has, but I think the long term would be so much better.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think, we're getting, ADA the railings are gonna be improved. We're gonna have so much better lighting. We're gonna have railings on the back steps. The slope will be better. So the hope is that it'll bring in even more after it's done. But you're right, it has It is harder
We
to
should
park
keep that
right
in
now.
mind as we look at things. Yeah, that's the only thing I was, yeah.
But I will say, let me stop sharing my screen here for a minute. We did lose 6 parking spots as a result of the reconfiguration of the striping of the lots.
It's a lot.
That is a lot.
So we are
Yeah.
losing 6. Some of it was because of the spots were not quite, they weren't to code. And if you notice in the back part of the lot, there's a little triangle
Yeah.
wedge that's totally not. It's because the way the cars were, when they fixed all of that, they made, I don't think they call them islands, I don't know what they're called, but they fixing those, one of them is larger, so that did lose 6 spots as a result, which is a significant amount. I think the lot.
The lighting is gonna be quite dramatically different, isn't
Yeah.
it?
Great, the lighting is great. So we're also getting additional lights on the front street entrance that we didn't have
Oh,
before.
Really?
One right
The
near-
stairs.
One right at the bottom of the stairs, because we know that entrance is gonna be used more. So that was a very deliberate decision on our part to get that done. Because those entrances are gonna be used more, but it's a great project. The EMC project is still going, so Mac Air Pro has been back this week. They're doing these, putting in these vents in that is gonna be fixed. We have just some issues with the history room being too warm, and that's gonna be resolved. So there's just some tweaking that has to be done. So that's still
Right.
wrapping up.
Okay. We go on, who's doing the capital campaign?
I am,
Okay.
so I just wanted to unshare my screen.
You can share screens, but top right and hit X.
Okay, I have to X out.
There you go. And now
Stop share,
yeah.
thank you. Great, okay, I am giving the campaign update. It's a short one, but a nice one. Okay. So as of the 17th of November, we have raised $2,771,596. 1,932,481 are already, this money's already received. 839,115 are in pledges through 27-28, and we have 5 outstanding asks totaling $250,000. And we have 12 asks in process totaling more than $500,000. So that we've been very busy setting up meetings. It's been a busy month that way. So that's our report.
In fact, we had one today, a potential donor who didn't flinch when we asked for 5 figures. So that's a good sign.
Always a good sign.
So, yeah.
People wish you'd asked for 6.
I know, that's what
That's always the question.
I come back to you.
That's right. It doesn't preclude us going back a year or so. Yes.
So, yeah, going very well.
Leslie. There was something in the report I didn't quite understand. It said 4 donors declined to donate. And does that mean they donated in the past and I didn't quite understand what that meant.
Oh.
If they're donors, but then they
They're
declined.
annual
Annual
fund donors who
donors.
declined a campaign gift.
They declined to campaign.
They're library
right.
donors.
Yeah,
Oh,
general donors.
okay,
Yeah.
okay, I didn't get that. I was
Yeah.
like, they're donors, and then they declined donating. I didn't get that.
They're annual fund donors that declined to give to the campaign.
Oh, okay, thank you.
I'm just curious, did they give a reason?
I don't, probably
Various.
can't. There are various reasons, which I can't.
Nothing to summarize or that's not gonna go away, I mean,
Nothing anti-campaign, if that's.
I guess that's-
Yeah, I think
No.
nothing like that, no.
Various personal reasons,
Sure,
but nothing to do with,
fair enough. but
nothing to do with not favoring the library.
Yeah, and sometimes it's couched in polite, I call it polite denials, but vague, so you don't want to read too much into it.
Nothing with the campaign itself or.
No, you're saying it was a bad idea or.
Right, but nothing like that.
I mean, just. All right. Move on to the consent agenda. Is there a motion to accept the consent agenda? Michael?
Getting his glasses on.
I was gonna say,
Okay, all in favor? Agenda. Move on to the monthly report. Just if you had any comments. It's too bad Mary isn't here because I wanted to ask her what an outstanding pumpkin decorating job really consists of.
Yeah. Seeing pictures from it.
Yeah.
I'm sorry,
The pumpkin decorating contest that she judged.
Yeah, there's only one, there was one, but it wasn't, yeah, it wasn't right, it was just the pearl.
Just a joke.
Yeah.
Because I thought,
There's a standard.
I'm sure there are. I want to recognize her too for getting onto the Youth Advisory Board. Congratulations for that. And if I could say, I thought it was great that we had interaction with Hyde School and Brightfield.
Yeah.
They're part of the communities, and I think Hyde in particular is, it's here, but they don't exactly, their profile is somewhat low, at least it seems to me as a member of the general public. So it's great that there's more direct interaction. And I also appreciated Samantha's all her work, first of all, and then the figures on the high return on investment.
That
all
that
the
was really
development
helpful.
office activities.
Yeah.
It's a good perspective to have on
Yeah.
inputs and out and gains.
Yeah,
That's-
exactly.
It's interesting and useful, yes.
True Mainer, I'm very fiscally conservative. Right, exactly.
Okay, that was my comment on my report. Really?
I just want to point out, there's one error in the development section of the report, which is that Starry Night is December 5, not
Yes.
December 6.
Yeah, I was gonna ask
Sorry.
about that.
Yeah.
Sorry.
5 from 4 to
You
7?
can come on the 6th too, it just won't be.
Right, it
what
won't be
you're
just fine.
expecting.
The outside is 4 to 7, the inside's 5 to 7.
Okay,
So there will be the outside, the luminary.
Oh, yeah. Hannah's still here, but basically the town isn't renting out the park, obviously, for the current situation, but gave us liberty to still decorate it with luminaries. So it may involve some diggers and some piles of sand, but yeah, we're gonna move forward with however it is.
The other thing I wanted to mention was, I was glad to see that Jack has reached out to Phippsburg for the town history series.
Yes.
Oh, that's
for, and I think that's great.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was really
Yes.
good, yeah.
And he said he's gonna continue to, which I think is great.
Mhm.
Olive Branch,
There's lots that, they always had really good programs.
Yeah.
Good,
Yeah.
Active.
yeah, so I think so too.
Get any of our like announcements about programming or anything? Is there anybody there at Pittsburgh that?
There's the library's been recently rejuvenated. It might
They
be
have a
worth-
new,
Yeah, it
Yeah.
might be worth putting them on some email
Jack.
list or something.
reported on that today at our department head, actually, that Pittsburgh did respond positively to the request for town history series and that he had talked to Diane Atwood, the new librarian, so.
They're not on the list of the libraries that are under. There's a
No, I
there's a
didn't
thing on that
notice
the
that.
library, main library
Oh, yeah.
commission, they're gonna change their rules for
Yeah, yeah.
libraries.
Yeah, the ones for,
Those little tiny libraries that.
they pay. I
They
assume.
pay.
Georgetown was, but not.
Right.
Not.
No, I noticed that
some
too.
small
They
library.
agreed, they voted to postpone.
Yeah, now they voted.
They
did,
Yeah.
I saw that, yeah.
Saw that, yeah.
So,
There was so much, yeah.
right, other comments, or questions regarding the staff monthly report? Building and technology. I just had one question. I know that there was great participation in the October 22nd visioning exercise. I was just wondering when the summary or the results of that will be available.
But there are a couple more parts or.
Okay,
Now that we have that.
So we're through it.
okay,
What we're anticipating is that, first of all, we want to do a little.
Okay.
We're gonna meet the staff on the 2nd of December. We'd still like to find a way to reach some other populations that we haven't fully reached yet. Young families, children, teens, things like that. So Probably December. And what we'll add is December, is all talk about first staff and vision process through January. And would like to develop an opportunity on the top for results around early February. And the discussion we have to have that is how could we best do that? Might be a longer item than would be a typical agenda item for you in a meeting, so possibly we could explore doing a workshop session with you either before or after a board meeting, or on some. But we'll meet.
Great. All right, anything else? Otherwise, we can move on to finance. Saw the minutes. The
I had a question on finance.
finance.
On the capital campaign P&L report review, I said that you're putting this is how is good you taking something out from the children's garden and putting it possibly getting TIF funds. I wasn't sure what that was all about.
The city really liked that plan for the children's garden, and they offered to help us use the TIF funds to
Their funds.
pay for some of them.
Yeah, they volunteered that when we met with Mark and Miriam, so. And I'm meeting with Misty Parker, the head of community economic development head, next Monday. No, a week from Monday, about that, to get more details on the mechanics of it and the timing, what they need from us.
Where's it gonna go?
Outside that.
Inside the children's room, yeah, where you have the garden and the tiered seating and then some landscaping. And a door, in addition to an emergency door to the outside directly from the children's section department, yeah. So that was encouraging because they volunteered that. I see.
So that cost of $4,000 is for the drawings.
Right. They asked for something more substantial and detailed than what we have right with the concept drawings. It seemed like it was money well spent to do that.
Excellent. Thank you.
That's coming up with my Anthony. That's his show.
Yeah.
Friends?
Meeting tonight, so I happened at their last meeting. They had their annual meeting the last meeting, and they officially elected Maggie as the president, and Michael placed it as the treasurer, and then Vicky Tanko is staying in as the vice.
They supported the visioning exercise on the 22nd. Talking about their report about their pledge amount. Governance is a bit, even though I have to work on the bylaw amendments. So, but I think it's safe to say onboarding and working on committee charters would be the next things. Peggy, that's.
Yeah. I mean, we lost our chair.
Yeah.
Steve, so we will regroup.
Still working on the bylaws.
Yeah.
That's not
Yeah, close to that.
almost there. Maybe.
Policy and personnel. I'm just going to say I was glad to see the mention of at least a priority being working on the grievance policy and procedures. It's something that's I think overdue. We all talk about that, and I think there was even a commitment made to the employees at one point that we would come up with a system.
I'm working with the consultant.
I think
that's a directive too. So I think just getting.
I could hear you.
Working with the consultant, just getting the logistics of how an employee grievance policy. So I think that's going to be really next priority.
Yeah, should have.
the organization should have.
I actually did have a question on the friends. Can I just ask? I wondered why it said that at the merchant or the merching, that the bookstore can't sell. People ask about buying, but bookstore can't sell it. Is it they don't have the space? Is
They
that-
made the decision not to, partly for storage, for space, and also for accounting purposes.
There's not the way, I worked at it.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Because they, the thing that we take the
Square.
cards on, Square Pay, there's no way to put that merchandise that credits the
Oh,
library.
that's not, oh, yeah, I mean,
This makes,
it
it's
can happen, but right, it's
not
too.
set up right here.
It's
right
too many
now
steps
it.
for Pat to do, basically, is that it could happen, but then it would add to her accounting
Right.
for
So it would
Josephina.
be a separate,
Yeah, she would have to
kind of-
pull that
Oh,
out,
yeah,
basically, from the
okay.
cash, the checks, and the Square, and so it can be done, but it is just an extra step for a volunteer to do. So currently, they've been, but I mean, I think it's still been working, because people have been coming up and
Coming,
saying, yeah, we
yeah.
got a bookstore window,
Seems like
so.
a great place to put it.
I know.
yeah, and that's what I.
And people ask about it.
So, yeah,
We're asking, that's why I noticed that in the report, and what people are asking, you know,
Yeah.
why should they have to come into the library to buy, but, and I
And
wondered about the space.
because of the reporting, because on the budget, we agreed to raise $1,000 for merchandise, so we need to track that sale. So we
Right,
can,
right.
but down the road, there may be a revisiting of it, but if you see Ann Phillips, definitely thank her, because that was her display that she put up in the window. She was fantastic. So
Is there a way
she did
for
a great job.
It's a way for the
Ian
library to have a
Phillips?
separate square at the bookstore.
They do.
Separate
Separate square for
from the
accounting.
Yeah,
And then
Yeah, I don't
it's just-
know.
It's so user,
They're
I
just
mean,
a separate transaction.
it would be, but it's, I mean, it's all done by hand on a piece of paper. I mean, it's very old school. It's all volunteer. And,
Right.
Yeah.
Remember, it's all volunteers.
It's-
We all push them too hard.
Right, and they're very dedicated.
They are very dedicated.
People who are doing this are amazing.
Maybe more and more people will be asking, and then I'll.
They'll have to just come up with their own merch and start selling some friends wear.
No,
That would be fun.
Anything else with policy and personnel?
I'm sorry, I didn't,
No, it's okay, that's
I
fine.
was out of order.
That's fine, no, we're all on the consent agenda. Then we can turn the podium over to Anthony.
Oh, is it my turn?
Yes, treasurer's report and
All right, well, first we'll start with the normal. Let's start with the endowment. Let me just. All right, so the value of the endowment as of yesterday, the 17th, right? Yep. Is $9,096,676.99. Everybody get that? Does anybody have any questions on the P&L or cash sheet?
It was yesterday.
Yes.
Yeah.
We were at none.
Any questions on the P&L?
Been discussing the market.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I know. It's
By the
a
endowment.
little rough, you know, that's
it
okay.
dropped a little bit from last.
Yeah.
Up and down.
yeah,
We don't have any questions, and we'll move on to talk about the loan repayment.
Please.
okay, we have a resolution
We're
to
gonna pull up.
pull that up and show you the text.
As we pull that up, I'll just give a little bit of a narrative around what we're gonna talk about. So we are at the end of our drawdown phase of our line of credit for the construction loan that we took out about a year ago. So now we're at a point where we need to figure out what we're sort of doing with the rest of it. It is certainly, and we all know this as we've discussed this over the last year, our plan to pay down the rest of this loan as quick as we can, right? We don't want to have a loan for the next 10 years, 20 years. So what we have done is we've met with the bank and we have figured out sort of the best route forward or what we feel is the best route forward for us. So what we've done is and it's in this resolution is we've proposed to do a lump sum principal payment before the end of the year of $300,000. That would pay it down to right around 417,000, give or take. I can get the exact figure. It would leave about 417,000. We would leave it in an interest only phase for the next 2.5 years. What that means is that we don't have an obligation to make any principal payments. It doesn't mean we can't make any. What it does is it gives us the flexibility to make principal reductions when we are able to, rather than putting us into an amortization schedule and sort of binding us to having to make it. And because we're going to pay this off within the next 2.5 years, which is the time frame of the capital campaign, it makes a little bit more sense to just keep it interest only and make these principal reductions. And we're planning to make pretty sizable ones, quite frankly, because we want to get this taken care of as quick as possible. That's the plan. So in the resolution, what we have is to pay down 300,000, that we are going to enter into an interest only phase, that it's continuing to be secured by our trust account with Bass Amy's Trust, which has the securities, the Star Fund securities, which is the way it has been already. We just need to reiterate that for the bank. And then number 4 gives Leslie and I the authority to execute this with the bank.
Anthony, whether the variable, is it monthly, is it just?
So we don't have the rate will be fixed rate. We haven't exactly got the rate, but I'm pretty confident of what it's going to be, and it's should be a good rate, but I'm not 100% sure, but it's probably going to be below 6%. They have to get some approvals, but it's likely going to be lower than what we have right now. We're at 7, a little bit over 7. They're likely going to fix it around probably sub 6.
Okay.
It's not going to be more than 7. It's going to be less than what we have.
Okay.
And it's likely going to be below 6.
Where's the pay down gonna come from?
It's a great question. So it's going to come from the cash that we have on hand with the capital campaign. The capital campaign has about 800,000 still on hand. We spend any.
So if you look at the cash sheet, which you have, you can actually see how much cash we have.
Yeah.
It's almost about 900,000.
So, and so what I'll say about that is we decided that 300,000 would be a good number to put down right now. We will likely in the next month or so talk about where we're at and probably want to put more. But 300 is a good amount for now. We'll look at where we are. We've calculated some run rates and where we're at and some pledges. We'll probably want to put another 100 or so. But we just want to make sure that we're being the best stewards of where we are, cast positions, and making sure that we can do everything we want to do within the campaign. But likely, I would say that the campaign committee and the finance committee will come to the board within another month or two, or maybe after the new year, and say we'd like to put another lump sum. I'm not 100% sure of that, but likely.
So the, I remember the original loan doesn't have any prepayment penalty.
Correct.
We're good.
That
Whenever
continues.
Whenever we do this,
Mhm.
that's it.
Right.
That continues, no prepayment penalties. We specifically brought that up. They know our plan is to pay it off as fast as possible. They want us to pay it off as fast as possible too. It was a great tool for what we needed, but they know that we want it gone, and frankly, so do they. They understand the purpose, so.
Good.
So Anthony, did you say that we're not going to amortize
So, exactly,
that
so we're
piece?
just.
Repeat that piece.
Yep, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna keep it interest only. What that does is that just keeps our obligation to the bank each month is only going to be interest. That means all we have to pay each month is interest.
Yeah, okay.
We will pay more, but it just keeps that obligation low. And we can just make the large, it also is sort of a little funny for them to do a short, it's kind of a little bit odd because we want to pay it off in such a short amount of time. We'll actually end up paying more interest if we amortize it over a longer term.
Yeah, no.
So it would make more sense to keep it on a daily interest schedule rather than amortize over even 5 years.
That's good.
Because you pay more interest in the first,
Exactly.
in the first, 30%.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
this would make more sense. Now, if we don't make principal reductions, certainly we end up paying more interest because we're not hitting the principal at all. but we're gonna make principal reductions.
So you need a motion to authorize the
Yes,
resolution.
sir, yeah.
So I'll make that motion.
Adopt the resolution, yes. Is there a motion? Michael?
Second.
Peggy? Second? All right. Any more, all in favor of adopting the resolution as they're on the screen? Okay, approved.
Thank you.
We'll move on to the development report. I have to just skip down. My book group is meeting downstairs. I've got to drop something off and I'll be right back. But go ahead.
Very important library business.
The annual fund as of today is $59,911. Plus, we have $20,242 in open pledges. So the total is actually $80,155. Great place to be.
I just want to note that if you look in the at the last board meeting, we were at like 18,000.
Holy moly.
A lot has come in.
We were already over 50,000 before we even mailed the annual appeal.
So has the annual appeal started coming in? Yeah, because you just.
Yeah.
Nailed it.
Yep, by the buckets.
No, that's great.
Well done.
Yes.
Yes.
We need Starry Night volunteers still,
Yes.
and if you look in your email inbox, there's gonna be there was an email from Hannah on November 3rd, I believe, which has a link to the Sign Up Genius.
I'll
So-
send an
Okay,
email
Samantha will
with the
send it
link.
again.
We need a lot for the indoor. We don't have anybody to serve popcorn. Chris has just volunteered to be bartender, but I really need a second. We barely have any.
I volunteer.
December 5.
Oh. Never mind about bartender. But we need we need setup for the inside and all of that. So yeah, there's a lot. It looks like the outside is fairly well handled, but right now the inside is desperate. So I'll
And we
send
need
an
big
email.
goods, too, So.
When would the
And
setup,
baked goods.
when would the setup be? That earlier that day or different day before?
If you want to do luminaries, you can come earlier in the week. There's some luminary.
I think I've got
Creamer?
somebody for that, but the indoor setup is, I think we're gonna start at 3. The library closes at 4, so the 3 to 4 will be very subtle. But
Last year, you can't close earlier than that?
yeah, it's crazy.
That was insane
can.
last year.
I mean, we just have to announce it. that-
Yeah,
So we can certainly.
right, yeah,
we
it
can do
was,
whatever's-
cause I set up at 4 and the doors open at 5 and people are lining up at 4:30.
Still setting up though and getting all these lights.
Yeah, yeah. But if you wanna help, 3 is the time I would suggest showing up to help for the indoor setup.
Did you get somebody for children's activity?
Yep, I did. I actually got 2. I have Suki's
Right.
daughter is gonna help with an ornament making and Bath at Play actually is able to help.
They can do
But they're gonna do a separate task, a non-ornament making craft for kids. So there'll be lots for kids. Kids are free, adults are $10, so it is very achievable, I think, for a lot of people attending Bright Night Bath.
So are they up? Is that gonna be up here?
Nope, it's gonna be all downstairs. Everything's downstairs. I don't like having the second floor open because then you gotta watch everything and the history, cram it all into the first floor.
What about the food?
Very cash this year. We're gonna do chips and popcorn. I bought a popcorn maker and we've got toppings, but yeah, we are not going back to that model that we were doing before where people were paying $10 and demanding a meal. So,
And the food was gone like that.
20 minutes last year.
That's why I'm asking about the food.
And chips. It's only $10 and we're still having a bar. So I mean, there's a lot of value for it, but we don't need to do a full meal. Cleanup is hard with that too. So popcorn, which will also be hard, but
That's, I mean, that's some good
Cheese,
vacuum
no cheese?
cleaner.
no cheese, no cheese, no. Sweets, we are getting sweets donated for Mays and Sisters so far, I think, so.
Good.
Cheese whiz.
Is that for inside or outside?
Inside.
Because they're gonna have, they're gonna have something outside, right?
Yeah, they have, Hannah's managing that for the outside, so if you wanna bake anything for the outside table, there will be a table outside with hot cocoa and sweets as well.
All right, sorry. So look for that email from Samantha with the link to the sign up. You could also look back in your inbox. December 3rd, found it today. Some wins from the appeal mailing so far. We have 3 donors giving 5,000, which is up from 0 last year.
Oh.
We have one 1890 Giving Circle donor who increased their giving substantially because it was $1,890 donation. More than half that have given so far received a handwritten note on their appeal, which is indication that that practice works. So we'll try to do a more thorough analysis to see what that percentage actually is, but it does show you that all the work that was done when trustees came in and put notes on it, and it really does make a difference. So and then Samantha wanted to see if folks had any input about donor stewardship, how it's working, and do we need to tweak anything about the stewardship process?
We're gonna talk about this at our next development committee meeting, so this is kind of your time to give any input ahead of our looking at how we're doing it and if we need to do more or less.
So folks could chime in now, or feel free to send an email or call us with that information, but
Is there an easy way to include some Starry Night sort of flyer, small something?
Yep, do you want me to share that with you, like a digital?
Yeah, because I have some,
I just sent an email to you guys, but
I have some.
Saw that.
it was ready. All right, I will do that. I'll share it.
I have some
Hannah.
people to
Yeah,
send
yeah.
it. I was gonna mention it, but I think having, it's a nice graphic, so including that with my email to them, I
Great,
think
I
would
will.
be.
that's a good example. Like stewardship doesn't have to be, thank you for giving money, or we'd like money
Yeah,
from
join
you.
us.
It can be, join us. We're having this great event and
Yeah.
yes, bring your kids, your grandkids. So it's a nice way to sort of keep
Is
that.
it in color?
The,
Graphic?
Yeah.
probably,
Yeah.
yeah, it's the poster.
Probably, if I'm reading notes.
Do you want me to print some for you?
That will just
Kind of
delay
big.
it.
Yeah, exactly. That'll delay it. You can mention it, exactly. Yeah, I'll get a digital one from Hannah and then I'll send you guys all an
Yeah.
email tomorrow with that, so you can share it with your.
Okay.
Excellent.
Also, Judy, it's on the flyer. Judy Metcalf is attorney in Brunswick, but she's a sponsor, her law practice. But she's a member of our policy and personnel committee.
Yeah, I saw that.
Valued member. I just thought that was nice, and also to acknowledge her.
Also, I'll be following up with folks. Samantha kindly provided open tasks from Little Green Light to my email, but I did not print it out, so I will follow up.
Very small.
Okay, I'll follow up with folks individually who have open tasks.
Oh, yeah, I know.
I wanted to ask to Samantha, what, in terms of you said something around the raffles, what kind of items or things are you looking for?
Really anything at this point, specifically the tea and coffee baskets, I have nothing. I do, thanks to Peggy, I've got some you've got some create stuff, but I could use some more creative stuff. Yeah, those are kind of the three, I think, that need to
Those are
be.
the themes for the baskets: tea, coffee,
Read,
write,
create.
Right.
The best I can. I mean, if it ends up that everything's crazy, we're just gonna buy baskets, but that's the dream.
So reading and writing is creative. So what is create, like art?
Art,
But-
yeah.
Yeah, I had fun.
These are
I
internal.
had fun with that one.
How was the reading basket going?
I don't really have much for it right now. I did just request that the friends give me some items from the store, but
Okay.
that could definitely have some things. Mike
maybe a
Fear.
t-shirt.
Oh, that's a good idea. Mike Fear has been, and Julie Carlton from the Friends have been helping me gather raffle basket items by going to the stores. We've gotten a handful of things. We did get declined from a few apparently. And then I was saying to Suki earlier, I gave a Friday deadline, but if you need the weekend, I'm putting the baskets together Monday because the holiday makes it difficult. I gotta have them ready Monday so they can go out on Monday the 1st, because they're gonna be out for patrons for the week preceding the event, like we've done in the
Okay.
past, so that they can also have an opportunity. There'll be special pricing at the event. So come to the event, you'll get a bonus raffle ticket. But so if you have things and you wanna get things this weekend, just bring them to my office by Monday, midday would be great.
And donations for the bar too, wine.
I was gonna ask about that.
Yeah.
And the screw top.
Screw top ideally, yeah. I know the fancy, but the bartenders don't really like it.
Right.
You ever consider like getting like a case of one kind? So you tell them have a glass of wine and then you
And go back and have the
something
same.
like that.
We like the little hodgepodge effect. No, that's a great idea. I think we have actually in the past, I did get like some, deal where I was able to do that, but I can't get wine donated. I can get beer donated, weirdly.
Well, even if you ask for donations from us, and I'd be happy.
Yeah,
to do
yeah,
that.
you could do
You could
that.
do cash and then just buy a case as
Yeah,
opposed
that's a
to-
good idea.
It's the same as opposed to the hodgepodge.
Yeah.
You can say what you want, you just have to buy that.
Just
Right,
a thought.
everybody just buy this one type. I wonder though, if we can in the future think about wine donations, because I do get
There you
beer donations, like Bath Ale Works gave us 2 cases. Just went up and grabbed those last week, so I wonder if in the
Who
future,
sells cases of wine? Is that something that?
now you're cooking.
Now your cooking
right?
does, yeah.
And I know that when I used to work at Main Street, there was something weird about how they made the donation of it, but I think they
Okay.
could.
I'm gonna email you
New
right.
Hampshire liquor store.
Great, thank you.
Oh, yes, that
Okay.
store
Drive.
in
Oh, bootleg.
Bootlegger, that's right.
Right, someplace like that. And I am still looking for non-alcoholic drinks and I asked Kit NA to donate some beer. Where it is a family event, we should be responsible. But if anybody wants to donate anything non-alcoholic
Okay.
as well. that'd be great.
Anything more with development?
All I got.
I'm glad that you recognize that the Patent Free Society dates were awkward. And awkward timing,
The John Patton Society, yes,
Yeah.
yeah.
but I can't remember what I said. Yeah, that one.
Yes, yeah, that I'll plan on in the development notes, I mentioned that from our committee is that I'm gonna send out an email to those John Patton Society members at some point over the next couple months asking if there's a better time of year and what they like to have at the event, because I think it's time to start zhuzhing it up a little bit. It's been
Well, you're
20
there are more
years.
people invited now because you're gonna have.
Right, because I expand it now, it's part of your campaign. If you make a gift to the campaign, you get invited to the John Patton Society event during the stretch of the campaign. So yeah, we're seeing an increase. And donors who give over $1,000 historically in the past have been invited. So that's going up with our increased donors. So yeah. So I will be sending something out because I do recognize September is difficult.
Time of day too.
And time of day. Oh, I'll send the survey right to you.
But you want trustees to come, yes.
Yes.
It's like the most gorgeous afternoon.
Exactly.
I know.
Probably
So
September.
beautiful. Can we just have a rainy day?
Anything with town and area school activities, anything to report or anything being planned? No. I don't think there's anything in town government going on between now and the end of the year or December. Anybody have anything?
In Georgetown, we lost one of our select board members, Bronwyn Tudor. Some of you may even know her from,
Yeah.
she headed the Democrats, the Saginaw
Right.
Democrats for a
Right.
while. And Bronwyn died just recently.
Oh,
Yes,
I didn't know that.
very good person.
Yeah.
That's too bad.
If you feel like sending a card to the town office, who really, and the select board, I think that would be nice. I mean, obviously to her husband
Yeah,
or whatever, but
I did
the
not know
town
that.
office.
Do that.
Yeah, it was very recent, so, yeah.
Yeah.
Really
Go do that,
devastating.
yeah. Didn't know.
Yes, yeah,
Oh.
he was,
Yeah, They did honor her at the.
I mention our select board, our new select board.
Yeah, why don't
member.
you-
Yeah,
yeah.
West Bath has a new select board member, and she's Carly Perry, she was town clerk for 8 years. So we were pleased.
Yeah.
I didn't hear what you said.
Yeah.
New select board member in West Bath.
Oh, was it a good one? A good one?
Yes, and
It
she
replaced
just
a-
knows the work of
replaced
the
an
town very
incumbent.
well.
Any view about, does she have any opinions about the library? or-
Right, does she
She
love it?
grew up with them coming, so I think it's
Okay.
gonna be a different tone.
It's a plus. It's definitely a plus.
Great. That's so
Yeah.
good.
Yes, I figured
Didn't
that's
know
what
which
you were
was
at.
which.
I didn't know the name.
Yeah. Okay. Anything else? No, we can talk like about the mission statement. I think Suki came up with some.
I did, well, I had my notes from the board last time and people had said that they wanted to add some stuff and then we said about the who and how, what, all that stuff, so I just tried something out because I think we ought not to just drop it every time. I think we ought to put
Okay.
attention to it.
Have you all seen that?
Yeah, there's an email today.
A little more.
Yeah. Patent-free library transforms lives, inspires lifelong learning, preserves local history, and builds community through joyful, creative exploration and dialogue.
That's what it is.
That's what it
That's
is.
not
So,
what it is now,
Yeah.
right?
Oh.
okay, that's the current one.
My only question on that was the word equitable.
Mine too.
Well, somebody said they ought to be, you said it at the last meeting. My thoughts. What to do?
Oh, you're looking at her, you're looking at Susie.
Yes,
I'm
okay.
looking
It's
at
an
the word
email.
equitable.
Right, I saw it, yeah.
I think about the president and the word equitable. And the removal of that in so many situations, not that we're receiving federal funding.
Back, yeah,
That would hurt us, but that was a thought that crossed my mind,
okay.
is that such a,
I was trying to be responsive to what I heard at the last meeting.
I guess I wasn't being responsible in suggesting it.
But you suggested it and now you don't love it.
Seeing it.
So it's-
But he has to see it in writing.
Now, I understand.
Chris has got his hand up just so you know, whatever, just, overlook him.
Yeah, Chris.
Yeah, good afternoon all greetings from Virginia. I was trying to get this up and jockeying back and forth between the agenda, but I guess I can say it without looking at what I wrote. I just, an observation and a reaction that I have to mission statements like this is I like everything, it's all good and fine, but what comes after through is very abstract and generic to me. And I just think you read this and it's like, I don't even know that this is a library when I read the mission statement. And I'm just going to wondering whether something more concrete, and I was thinking like through the collections and staff, or maybe collections and facilities and staff.
Programming.
Yeah, you don't want to list everything, but to me, a library is first and foremost helpful people, and secondarily helpful materials. But often it's the people. 90% of what I get from the library comes from interlibrary loan ultimately. So it's not the collection on hand; it's the people, it's the staff that are really helpful, and a place to go to do that. So anyway, I just feel like a feel-good, very generic. What comes after through doesn't speak library to me at all. So I just wanted to offer that has been my reaction. And that is all.
Can we add local history?
There's no history in there?
Not in yours.
Oh, I should have.
Yeah.
I missed that out. I meant to have that in there.
Please say, please, could you speak up?
Local history is what Allison said. I thought I had it in there, but I didn't.
Preserves local history, that phrase?
Because we have it in the current one.
Yes, we do.
Yeah. I thought I had
Yep.
it in there.
Well, it says that we do all this for residents of our served communities. And I guess I see it more broadly. I mean, really, the library, I don't know that I put served communities in there because, I mean, other people can come into the library and whatever. So I would.
We have out of community card holders and out of state card holders.
I would just not put that into the mission statement. That's all I
think that's
That's
a
good,
good
that's
idea.
good. I was just responding to the who.
Yeah, no, that's good. It's a good point. It is true.
Keep going, okay, with Chris. We'll see what we can do with what Chris put in.
I guess I have a broader question. We're talking about this. I don't think you can necessarily rewrite a mission statement, big group of people. But what's our purpose of looking at? Is it to change the mission statement, to completely, to tweak it, to just be aware of this is our mission statement? What's the purpose of this conversation?
When the board met more than a year ago, there were a series of actions that they decided should be periodically reviewed by the board.
Right, I remember that.
And one of them was the mission statement. So that was the first thing, was to look at it and to see if it should be tweaked, changed, or revised. And so the original point of bringing it up was to make sure that everybody knew about it.
Right, that's
And
what
maybe hadn't looked at it for a while.
Yeah.
I've talked to, frankly, some employees, when I asked them about it, they said, well, I haven't read it in years. So, and some of that may apply to trustees as well. So that was it, to see if people felt that it was still timely or spoke to them, and, you know, conveyed what the library is doing and wants to do, and its goals. That was it. I certainly didn't think we would start from scratch and redo it. I was thinking personally along tweaking if anything came up to it, and if there were elements that we wanted to include. Now, you know, there was the equitable access issue, which may be a can of worms, maybe not.
I like it, and in part for the same reasons that you don't like.
It's something that's come up a lot lately though, too, like we really want to do things to.
To use inclusive, inclusive is better.
in here. What were you saying, Tommy?
No, I was just saying that accessibility issue is something that's really become a focus of the library staff in recently. So I think it reminded me that that is something that we care about.
Maybe we can use inclusive instead, but that I just think we ought not to just see it's there and not, and that was all. We have other things we have to deal with tonight.
Yeah, but I think adding the preserving
Local history.
I think is a good thing to add to it.
I think Chris mentioned.
And then Chris mentioned a couple things.
Put through, because people didn't like the creative, the joyful thing.
What was to,
He said programming, maybe?
yeah,
Just
the programming.
Staff programming, staff.
Well,
We're not making a decision.
No, we're not.
Yeah.
Okay.
Suki, can you do some wordsmithing on this then? Okay. Thank you. And then I could talk about it in December. I know we're not pushing it, we want to push it off, but
Okay.
we've got some substantive
Some
input.
other stuff to do, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, thank you. Thank you, Chris. New business, election of officers. As you know,
What about the bylaw amendments? Is that under old?
we'll do the election of officers first.
Oh.
Or, well, we could do either one, I guess. Bylaw amendments is actually old business, you're right, so we should probably do that first. And we've got that up on the screen.
I will do that right now.
Result of the
I got silence.
governance and Superior Executive Committee meeting coming up with that.
Send an email on that.
Yes,
That's in an email. Okay.
it's also in an email. Yeah.
Where did it come from? Just so I can find.
I think it came from me.
Okay,
Carl.
Okay, okay, Carl.
My Gmail finally should load.
I love search engine.
Okay. So as you may recall, there was lots of discussion about the funding model and wanting to change it.
Gotcha.
And people feeling,
Yeah.
incorporators feeling that the proposed language at the meeting would give too much leeway to, I guess, to the trustees for setting a rate or a per capita rate, whatever they wanted. So this was an attempt to give a little more structure to it, but also allow the flexibility to weight the rate towards Bath, which is what we've been doing already, and which City of Bath so far has accepted. So that's the purpose of this first one.
And I think you
And
got it. Yeah,
Good, Tom.
this one I think you nailed.
And also to make it clear that other towns all have an equal.
Per capita,
Yeah,
so it's
the
the same for
per
everyone.
capita is crucial.
They didn't get that at the incorporators meeting?
It didn't say per
It
capita.
really
No, it
wasn't,
did
in-
not.
it got taken out.
Okay, yeah.
That seemed to be an issue at the
It will.
corporators meeting.
There's a lot of words in this new wording, but I think in our little meeting, it seemed like
that's what we need to do in order to really be as specific as people seem to want.
Yeah.
You think the word require city staff is
Where's that?
the trustees
Third one.
may require the city of Bath to contribute at a higher weighted capita rate.
Top bottom, right here.
Maybe we should say.
Third line.
I was going.
Oh, we're on that section.
Yeah. The town system. I wonder if it should be requests.
Yeah, I think that's.
But then you get into the negotiation.
Yeah.
It's gotta be, I mean, ultimately, the trustees have to decide what the total municipal funding amount is gonna be when we sort out the budget, so you can't really say request, because then you have to negotiate.
Yeah. If requires too hard, you could say they stipulate. I don't know. It says the same thing.
Yeah. So we're not negotiating with City of Bath, we're telling them. That's what you're
Right.
saying.
So-
Okay.
I mean, we kind of already did.
But you actually do go with the request. I don't know, I've been,
Well, yeah. But we don't negotiate it
no,
so far.
so I don't know how to change that
So
language, but it just sounds more. It is a budget request.
It
Like,
is
when- it is
technically
It's
a
technically a
request.
request.
Yeah.
It's just that it's not, it's a non-negotiable request. It's a yes or no request.
Yeah, it's
Well,
fine.
request
Request
seems
different
friendly,
meanings.
request, could you request?
Yeah, but-
Requesting,
That makes. Yes.
that is negotiable.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
That really
I mean,
implies.
the difficulty we had, that's why when we were
Yeah.
discussing it, how to say it, because
No, right.
request
Oh,
does sound
Require.
yeah.
apply negotiable.
Okay.
So that's why I think we came up with the require, but then
Okay.
that sounds like too strong, so it's.
You know, even if it was something like the trustees may determine the city of Bath should contribute at a higher rate or something like that. I don't know.
Determined sounds good.
And it's putting the onus on you guys to make the number, right?
Good word. I like that.
They determine.
They determine
City of
that.
Bath should, shall contribute.
I know you weren't at the meeting, but we did discuss solace.
Yes.
This issue.
I'm not gonna die on this hill. I just, it stood out to me that require is a.
I know, I felt the same way, Eileen. I read it like 9 times and I was like, "Ugh." But I had the same thought that we're going.
Even though we're not negotiating in the towns that complained about this process, that's their complaint, is that it's, we just come to them with the bill and that there's not a conversation, and I think as much as we can do to.
Say ask, because we ask anyway. We ask every town.
Right, it's not a require, because they can say
What if
no.
we say the trustees may ask? Because we always ask for an amount.
How's
It's
that
a little bit
different than a
softer.
request?
I don't think ask is any
I don't
different
think it's
than
strong.
request. Yeah.
Excuse me?
I don't think it's strong enough.
Right, yeah.
It does imply that
If you
they
look,
could,
if you pull out your thesaurus.
That's how we can, that's essentially what we do. We ask. They can say no, but we ask. That's, oh, yeah.
But the other thing too is that the towns don't read the bylaws.
Well, they can say it for them, it's
It's
for
not-
you.
Although some of the corporators claimed that it
Yeah.
helped them in some town discussions when they were.
Yeah, this
Oh,
per
really?
capita
Per capita
terminology.
that in bylaws, that was one of the reasons they were protesting.
Exactly.
Yeah,
It was
the
coming out.
bottom line, is they come back and they don't want to fund, then it's a cut. That's, so you don't want to fund us what we're requesting, then we'll be cutting the program. That's right. That's the answer.
You know what, now that I'm reading the sentence before that, I think I'm okay with require. Because
It would
It
put
says-
it a minimum.
yeah, shall establish uniform minimum. And because Bath benefits from this extra special, the trustees may require the city. So I'm now okay with require, because it.
It also, it also says may require.
It is
Yeah.
may require, not
Shall
shall.
require.
Right.
right,
So,
Yeah.
Shall require.
yeah,
Like it.
Oh,
We went through a lot of shall conversations, so, yeah.
Is that, if you read
Sticky
it
wicket.
in that context, you know, it's up to the trustees to determine and may require. I don't know. I think it's.
I'm okay with it now.
So do we need a motion to recommend this to the corporators?
We will, yes. Because this,
I'll make the motion.
yes,
We're gonna
Leslie?
vote both.
I have one question about the reported to the corporators. Is that before? Is that just at some point? So I want to know a little bit of the history of the rest of the last phrase of the first paragraph and report it to the corporators. What's the intention with that?
To improve communication with the last.
That was just in the interest of transparency.
Yeah.
to the corporators.
But is it to report like at the annual meeting? Is it to report before you approve the budget? What?
Right.
I think it would happen free of charge based on the sharing of the budget and what the municipal breakdown is. One of the things we discussed at this meeting where we were talking about this was that in the future, we should probably include in the final approval of the budget each year, the breakdown per municipality of the municipal share, the municipal funding. So that it's crystal clear to everybody how much each town is paying. And that's kind of, I think, what that phrase is meant to kind of.
Well, look, so Jim, because you're here, how do you, I don't mean to put you on the spot, but if you see report to a corporator, how do you interpret that as hearing, like at any specific?
Notification, not a requirement for action. So I think people would like to see that. It's just a matter of when it happens. I think maybe a communication during the budget process, just not necessarily without a meeting, but this is what's going on.
Okay.
And this is where we're going might be helpful that way.
Okay.
I think the may required is, I think people are going to have a little jar with that, but as you're correct, it is may required, not shall require. But each community, including Bath, is going to see this as a request and not a requirement. And I think at some point in the future, if Bath decides to change its mind as it has before and not fund the pro rata, then you've got to decide whether that requirement means what. You're not going to negotiate or you will negotiate. And I would assume you don't negotiate rate, but I think
I think we adjust the rate with the impact hitting all the communities. You know, that's, but yeah. Okay. Right. Any more discussion? So is there a motion to accept Article 1, Section 2 purpose text as written?
Motion.
Michael's motion, is there a second? Allison second, all in favor? Okay. Then we move on to the municipal trustees. This is to ensure a designated seat for each, among the board for each of the served communities or served municipalities, under the terms basically the same as any other trustee. Although we did temper the language in this a little bit based for some input from one of the corporators. We changed instead of shall appoint, we changed it to shall be invited to appoint in a manner of setting. And then upon completion of the municipal trustee's term, governing body of that municipality shall be invited to appoint a successor. So not that they're required to do that, they must do it, but we let them decide.
And to address the concerns raised at the corporators meeting about having sort of an activist bunch of municipal trustees that wanna do bad things to the library, we added the language, we added the word duties. So not more than 3 years with the same powers, rights, and duties as if elected by the corporation. which draws attention to the fact that every trustee's duty is to the organizations.
That's right, because these people are not elected by the corporators,
Correct.
right?
Right. But the bylaws do allow the board to separate a trustee who is not, when their judgment is not serving the the purposes of the library, of the organization. So that stays in place. That applies to whatever trustee.
Okay.
So we have that as a fallback.
It seemed like this trustees issue was, it seemed like we needed to have better prepared talking points and sort of a narrative as to why this became a good idea in the mind of the governance committee and the trustees.
Yes.
And so I think when we go to a corporators meeting with this, we should have that kind of prepared, some sort of, chalk talk of sorts to share those.
I would go one further, Tommy, and say, ideally, if timing allows, that our rationale or thinking we send along with revised text ahead of time.
Beforehand, yeah.
Beforehand, so that they understand what we're doing and it just doesn't seem like a surprise to them, which was one of the sticking points I thought too at the first time, was that they didn't understand the background to it.
And that goes out, would it be possible to get the minutes of that meeting, the comments that were made, and then we can show that they were addressed in our.
Elizabeth did the minutes, so
Oh, great.
yeah, so.
Thanks.
So we'll get them, we'll be getting a minute.
Yeah, so the minutes of the corporator meeting, so Elizabeth just completed them, and thank you very much. It took her 5 hours to do them, so.
I see that.
So I just got them from her yesterday, so I was gonna review them, but I also, I'm happy if somebody else wants to review them. So what would you like me to do with them at this point? But we are definitely gonna send them out in advance so that can be, Carl wanted those to go to,
Together, I think that's good, yeah.
so is there anybody else that wants to look at them? I'll send them to you as well. Great.
We can both.
Okay, perfect.
So
There you go. One of the things that we have to be clear about ourselves is that we're changing the structure of the corporation by doing this, because all these people are not being voted on by the corporators. So we're changing the actual structure of the library corporation.
to a degree.
Yeah.
We're going from 3 to 5. Three
Sort of.
unelected to
Sort-
5.
Yeah, sort of.
Yeah, we have unelected corporators, trustees already.
We have unelected, how
Make
is
sure
that
that's,
changing?
I'm gonna say, take that and put that in your description. When you're talking
right.
about it, that's so that we already have it, so that
Oh, I thought.
I know it's coming.
Yeah.
I know it's coming.
Sorry, should we ask Chris, you want to say something?
Yeah, I didn't know whether I wanted to open this can of worms or not, and I had to leave. I don't think I heard all of the corporator discussion on this. And just in light of the earlier comment about the corporators, or maybe as a proxy, given the timing is going to be off, approving, it just occurred to me that just so you don't have to go through the problem of removing a trustee, if there was somebody nominated or, in here appointed that was known to be anti-library, I just change this language to nominate rather than appoint, and that there has to be what would be expected to be a rubber stamp by the board or the corporators to approve the nomination from the municipalities. That's an extra step. And like I said, I put my hand down, but you called on me anyway. But that's what I was thinking about. And it's a big can of worms. But it was just a thought. If we get more I would say if we get more pushback that this isn't good enough, just putting duties isn't good enough, and the removal process isn't good enough. Maybe that is a fallback position to just say, okay, they get to nominate and we get to vet them and decide whether the corporators get to vet them or whatever.
That might
Thank
be
you.
That might tell us a lot of.
Yeah, I was gonna ask that question as to whether you considered the idea that the towns could nominate to the corporators and the corporators would approve, like they would the usual slate of members, and most times it would be a rubber stamp. But if there was an issue, the power would still be with the corporators to make the decision, but you give the town the possibility to nominate if they want. So if you get communities involved, they can put forth a name, the corporators would consider them with the regular nominations.
There will be a timing question perhaps based on when the select boards meet and decide and take this up. And so we can't, I don't think we would have to, if there was a voting, it would have to be probably electronic.
I really think the
In the
reason
fall.
for doing this has to do with the towns having more agency in the operation of the library and the determination of the budget and programming or whatever. And if the trustees act as a filter on that, that takes away some of that agency.
Yeah.
I think.
I agree that it does, but they're getting more agency by being able to nominate on a non-rotating basis. So it's less than what we proposed maybe in terms of agency. There is a check, and it preserves the corporators' approval. And I don't know if this would work or not. Because of the timing, I would say that if we went the nomination route and it was not before the October meeting, like it would be for Bath, you're gonna not get them until December or January, the new people, newly elected people, that then the board approve them as acting until the next corporators meeting or something, so you don't have to do that.
Could work around.
I think with the smaller towns that have town meetings in June, they could easily meet and then do an appointment for the October meeting.
It's usually done by the select board. It's usually not done, it's not usually.
No, but I mean, but the new select board would be established in June.
Sometimes January.
And the town meeting can, and the
Sometimes
town
it's just
meeting
in
can, and the town meeting can then publicize the fact that they're looking for a volunteer to be a trustee.
Has there been any, other than Chris, has there been any feedback from any community? We haven't heard anything about the idea of a nomination versus an appointment. So I'm wondering, is it wise to maybe just go ahead with this and see if there's feedback that comes in that way? Because we're trying to temper what is going to be done. I don't think that would be necessarily popular when they're now appointing.
I mean, if we were only nominating.
Yeah, but they've only been on for a year.
Yeah.
It's
They
only
don't-
for a
it's very
year.
limited now.
Yeah, it's very.
It's a one-year
it is-
rotation.
They're going for 3 years and you're going for. up
But
to
they do
9.
appoint, they don't,
Right,
we don't,
right.
we're not filtering.
So that's something that they would in a way lose. They
Yeah,
have broader
Yes.
power because they have a permanent thing. I think it's a valid point in doing that, but I, for one, would like to stick with our more, let's say, our simpler process that we have here. And the corporators are free to discuss that or propose that as an alternative.
They're used to this now. They're used to the appointment now,
Yeah.
and they're gaining something.
Right.
What are they gaining?
A longer
Two
term.
more.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So that would be
Well, the
my
increase are.
Yes.
Yeah.
my
That's what- okay,
suggestion is that it be approved as written, understanding that the issues that you brought may well come up in discussion. And will have to be done at the special corporators meeting.
I'll
I
make a
agree with
motion.
you, Carl.
If we send this out in advance too, we might get a little bit of
Yeah.
feedback before the meeting that might help with. I mean, I suppose we could make tweaks of a word or two at the meeting.
Sure.
You'd hate to do it, but yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, you could. Sure.
Because now they're fired up.
Well, you never know if they're gonna continue to be fired up.
Doing the-
I know
Yeah.
one who is.
Yeah. Oh, I want to know who they are after.
I'm ready to
Not the,
Anthony's making
I know.
a motion to accept the language as written.
Yep.
Michael seconds it. All in favor? Passed as written. Okay. Then,
I'm looking at John. John
Thank
has
you,
a-
Anthony, for all you do.
oh, sorry. Sorry, John.
He didn't ask you as a vote.
I'm sorry. I just didn't see. I know. You want to go, you oppose?
Yes, I am.
Okay.
And
You want opposed?
Who?
Two opposed. To the second one, to Article
Second one,
4.
yes.
Trustees.
Because, what?
Okay. Okay, fine.
changes the structure.
All right.
In a bad way.
Now let's move on to the election of officers, which we can do
See that.
to some extent. Let me give a report. People who, the current president, treasurer, and vice president have agreed to continue to serve. We do not have a candidate for the secretary position. I would suggest that maybe should be referred to at this point, the governance committee to recruit. And since I'm assuming that no one here wants to throw their name in the hat tonight. I didn't get anything. Anyone suggesting that. So it may take more cajoling.
Looking down.
Any comments? Any comments, other things about that? All right, so we can do this as a slate with 3 of the 4 positions. Myself as president, Michael as vice president, Anthony as treasurer. If you agree to doing that as a block, then we can say vote.
Move to approve.
All in favor? All right, done. You can't oppose that.
No, I don't oppose. I just was seeing if anybody
Any
else
opposed? I didn't see. I looked around.
Yeah, I'll oppose to my own appointment.
Oh, Anthony.
Stranger things have happened.
Oh, dear.
I think you have.
Okay, great.
I'm running out of juice.
Yeah. I have time. I put down for one brief, an executive committee session now. Take it.
So I'm
It
going
is
to,
6:12.
I'm gonna end the
We have to
recording.
move to go in.
Move to go into executive session.
I'll second.
I don't know
Approve.
why it's,
All in favor?
didn't.
Okay.
To stop working on it.